after a long set of weeks working on some television shows, but you know, we're very happy to take a moment to do some, you know, self-care. We put some aloe leaf on our face. We also hit it with this Kiehl's Micro Blur Skin Perfector. Still trying to use this bad boy up. We were able to go to TJ Maxx after a surprise redone COVID test on Saturday, and we got this rechargeable electric toothbrush, and it's just great. If you've ever had the any of the other Sonic toothbrushes that are available on the market, some of them have a kind of really annoying high-pitched sound and can leave your gums feeling a little tragic, but this brush doesn't do that. It has some good massage capability. It also gives you a quality amount of friction, 8,800 brush strokes per minute. Has comes with 3 different brush heads and charged super quick. It has a really solid feel and construction. I personally find the Sonic Care brush that I have that uses the same kind of Sonic technology to be a bit small and a bit it kind of leaves my gums feeling a little questionable. I definitely don't want to be half asleep when I use the Sonic Care, and I feel like this particular brand of brush, Pursonic, gives you a little bit more leeway to kind of not be as alert to keeping it away from your gums. So to me, this is a plus. The price point, the list price is $22. I was able to get it on sale for $10. You know, thanks be to TJ Maxx and Pursonic. Not sponsored, but this is a terrific product. I just felt like I should add an electric style toothbrush to my repertoire here at the Sky Cabana. You know, skin is moisturized and prepped. We also put some of this e.l.f. CBD eye cream under our eyes, and you know, I thought we would get into some contour and highlighting concealer and then get on. Hopefully I have it here because I have actually been loving this particular kind of foundation. It's one of those 4-in-1 products. I just don't know where I put it, but it's just great. If I can't find that, then I can certainly use an e.l.f. powder, foundation. But you know, as much as I try to be organized, I get distracted by my own the mayhem of my life. So we have plenty of other options. So let's get into it. We were loving this brush last time round for doing our concealer. And, you know, this is a putty bronzer, which is not quite the same thing as a contour product, right? The contour products are often a little bit more gray, like a shadow. And certainly we can reinforce anything that's a little too warm with a more gray contour powder. And we have a few. We have this Essence Contouring Duo palette. We have this LA Colors Contour and Highlight palette. And we have this You Are Glam Contour Powder. So we're covered in that regard. I think that we had messed with these Wet n Wild Mega Glow contour sticks. One is Oaks on You, the other one is Call Me Maple, but I did see on TikTok that there's an even darker shade of it. Last time around, we also started experimenting with these Black Radiance, hold on, Black Radiance foundation sticks, right? And we used Cocoa Bean, which is relatively light in color. The next darkest one, which seems kind of red, is Espresso. So let's get into that, and then we keep dropping it on the floor. And also I don't want to lose the little labels from these products as I work through them, because strangely, they're not labeled otherwise on the packaging itself. You know, I think there's been a long-standing discussion of whether makeup is original and constructed by the actual label that puts it out, or if it's private labeled, right? Which is, it's not legitimate. It just doesn't give you the same kind of like top to bottom conceptual integrity that you might expect from a brand, right? So Revlon Color Stay in Banana is what we used to highlight last time around. So let's get into it. You know, I'm trying to be disciplined and get this, you know, today's makeup experiment done before I get into the streets. I'm still really frustrated with my phone for the best image. I just turned the light and the audio all the way up. But getting into this Black Radiance product, it's so strange. The sticker on the bottom does not have the shade name. And I just wanted to kind of go by, and I'm having trouble. Oh, I see. You can't twist the bottom to raise the product. You have to twist the middle. You know, nothing wrong, just not what I expected. Getting our BM, it's a lash line brush, but it's super sharp. It's got this flat edge on the bottom. Figured we could use these edges to get into the product. Let's put it on both sides and on the entire middle and try to just get real precise. You know, I looked at some of what I did, and it is true. If you don't put your contour on an upward angle, it does look a little unflattering. So, wow, that's saturated. Other side. So we're trying to get it on the cheekbone at a lifted angle, right? Bring it back toward the ear. You know, hopefully we won't regret the strength of this color. But, you know, we're going for it. What's the worst that can happen? It's Sunday. We don't have to be at work until tomorrow. We have to be there rather early. So we want to just get in a little fun, a little makeup experiment while we can, right? Really thinking about what we hear about on TikTok in terms of, you know, getting your contour game strong and, you know, sort of done in a way that is significant, right? You don't want to kind of pussyfoot and not achieve a contour that, you know, gives you a good guideline for where your eyeshadow is going, right? You don't want to have it be so pale that it just doesn't amount to anything, right? You want it to be a meaningful step in your makeup map, right? Going out toward the tip of that eyebrow. This is a very warm, kind of reddish shade. And, you know, just using our magnifying mirror to get that onto the forehead, right? Shrinking that forehead, creating some dimension, and shrinking the other side of the forehead, creating dimension, you know, and we're going to see if this color serves us or if it compromises our attempt at beauty here. So on the jawline, all the way across, other side, on the jawline, right? We don't want to use too much product, but we don't want to use too little. And then painting out that double chin. You know, we got some unexpected news about the work schedule that, you know, was certainly enough of an excuse for me to indulge in some delicious food. You know, I do personally feel that food is a safer coping mechanism than other things, but, you know, in the Hollywood game, you don't want to go too long or too far in your indulgences. You know, I can leave alcohol alone, but, you know, when it comes to raw salmon and tuna and, you know, some fried shrimp tempura, I find it really hard to resist these simple pleasures. I don't know about you. You know, put something in the comment if you have a favorite you know, snack or indulgence that kind of helps you get through challenging times. I mean, another issue is, you know, there's been some low grade drama building at work for a while, and it seems to have come to some sort of head, right? But in these situations, it's always so important to just be very controlled. No freak outs, no flip outs, nothing of that sort, right? Just dragging this nose contour up into the brow, right? So that it creates, it kind of has an origin point and it doesn't kind of just appear on your nose. I mean, not that we're going to fully achieve this, but you know, one of the concepts that we aspire to with our makeup, and it's interesting because this product, which is a foundation, it's a stick foundation on my complexion, does create a somewhat of a stain, which is an interesting texture as you know, think about your contour. You know, people are doing a double line on the jaw as a contour and then they're highlighting it. I don't know about that. We're just trying to leave enough color that the contour shape is there, the jaw is strengthened, but we don't want to, you know, we don't want a nothing contour. And, you know, you certainly want to enhance your beauty routine with a responsible practice of eating for nutrition and eating for, you know, to help your intestines and to create an overall well-being, because that ultimately will help you get through stress and hard times and COVID tests. You know, I wasn't completely shocked because I'd heard of it before, that people had inconclusive COVID tests, but it does, you know, you always get the results and you're like, oh, it's a text message, and you don't bother to look at it because you're like, yeah, if there's a problem, they'll tell me. But apparently there was a problem. There wasn't enough of a sample. But how does that happen? This is a petite smudge brush from our friend Sonia Kashak. How cute. It comes with its own little case. I wonder how long I'll be able to keep the case on it. But if we are contoured, right? Sit back and take a look at that, right? Building a foundation for strengthening that chin, strengthening that jaw, right? Creating a base for the eyeshadow, right? And if we take this product, which is Revlon Color Stay Concealer in 001 Banana, and we get that into our marble dish from Daiso, you know, like I'm pushing myself to do this now instead of running errands in the bright sunshine and getting all kinds of crazy tan lines. I'm gonna do this now and then hopefully be able to get out and do some errands, because one of the things I'm still trying to figure out is, you know, this godforsaken cell phone problem that I continue to have, where I don't have enough storage on my phone, right? I don't know if any of you have expertise in this, but you know, we're stroking this concealer on top of our contour and underneath the eye and all around with our Stila brush. You know, it's a kind of debate, right? Like part of me is like, oh, I would love to not have any storage issues on my phone. But if you create content, you kind of need a reserve of storage in order for your shorts to process on YouTube and for your posts to process on other social media sites. And, you know, I've kind of reluctantly in the past been forced to leave my BlackBerry alone, and I got into the Apple world, and I've been in the Apple world and it's been fine. But right now I have a colleague who has a Motorola phone that has 4 cameras, not just the 3 that the, just putting a little bit more of this in our dish. You know, like it sounds great, like, oh, the Apple 13 has 3 cameras, but the Motorola has 4. If 3 cameras is good, then what is 4 cameras, right? And how does it work uploading material from a Motorola, a non-Apple device? And, you know, can you still, what is it, airdrop footage into your iMac? I just, you know, I'm not the most expert person when it comes to technology. I've been trying to figure out production protocols for myself, but then at the same time, I'm kind of like wanting to not lose opportunities to produce content because my phone is cramping out. Part of me wants to just be like, F this and go right over to my cell phone company and get a new one ASAP and then figure out the other bit later. But I do feel like, you know, the person who's recommending this Motorola phone and a different, cheaper company to me is someone that I respect his intellect. So I don't, but the other issue is that he doesn't post on social media. So kind of like, what does he know about that? So many questions. But in any case, it's Sunday. We're using this brush to sweep on some, you know, brightening concealer here in the middle of our forehead, down the center of our nose, you know, trying to respect the contour lines that we created. We are seeing a fair amount of texture on the face, but you know, it's the weekend. Does it matter? Does it matter if we're just gonna go to Target and the cell phone store and kind of run out the clock on our weekend because, you know, we gotta be at work in the morning? Is part of not looking like ourselves gonna be a wig? Are we gonna, I was thinking to myself to dye my hair like red. Not like bright red because of course I'm a brunette, but you know, red. And kind of go to a freckle place that would make me look quite different than I normally look. Is that insane? Is it something that I can accomplish with the few hours of daylight that I have left, or am I being, you know, wacky? So just sweeping this concealer on to sharpen our cheek contour and our jaw contour, right? Give us that highlight. Other side, you know, as if the light is hitting us more strongly above that sharp jaw contour. You know, sweeping this highlight shade from the under eye up into the temple, same on the other side, and really letting the colors show. Sometimes we're so kind of namby-pamby about this and, you know, the lifted angle and all of that, but we're not going to do that today. Today we're going to go for it full strength, right? We're going to get into this makeup palette, the Barbie Pure Collaboration. I'm not dissatisfied with this contour and highlight combo. If we use our little finger just to finesse, making that very thin line along the nose. That is what the professional man who did our makeup in January did. And just, you know, kind of using the warmth of our finger and the warmth of our face just to, you know, rub that contour in and make it seem more native to our face, right? If you are on Facebook, there's a group called Indigenous Cake Faces that I've been enjoying very much. People are, you know, doing their makeup and posting their looks, and I think it can be extremely therapeutic just to, you know, think about how your makeup looks before the moment in which you actually need it to be, you know, on you for camera, right? Taking out any harsh lines between contour and highlight, you know, whether that's blending the highlight into the contour into the highlight, you know, just looking that over, maybe pushing the highlighting concealer up toward the nose contour, same on the other side. So you have a very bright nose side, and you still have that kind of dark, sharp line up and down the middle. I wanted to get over to Daiso to pick up, I broke my continuous spray bottle just because I have all this stuff in the fridge from work and shopping and kale and this and that. So if this is our contour and highlight in place, right? If we're thinking about the shape of that chin, if we're regretting that for some reason we can't find our current favorite foundation product, I just don't know where I would have put it. Here's our kind of container of foundations, and I don't see it because I actually was confused when I bought it. I thought that it was a repackage of that L'Oreal 4-in-1 product, but it isn't. It's actually a completely different product, and it's Maybelline. And it's fabulous because it's powder as well. I may not, in fact, have it, but I did buy some more. I just don't know where I put it. Bear with me for just a half second as you attempt to organize your makeup, and then, things don't really go as you expect them to. So this L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum is good, but that's still not what we're looking for. I thought that this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 was what I got, but I didn't because it was in a different package. And it was in a bit of a tube, and this medium color is fine, but the color light medium in this other product is better for me. Boo-hoo-hoo. I don't necessarily want to put this over the work that I've done because it might overwhelm it. These are the dilemmas we confront in the makeup game. So maybe we'll try it. I don't think that the next lightest color in that product was going to work for me, but we do try to do our best, to organize and be thoughtful about where we're going with all of this makeup and mayhem. But, I think it's time for us to switch gears and get into our eyeshadow game, because that is the thing, honestly, that excites me when I am thinking about getting into my makeup on the weekend, because I can't, when I play law enforcement or I'm sick in the hospital, I can't really rock out with some crazy eyeshadow, and that hurts my feelings. But it is what it is, right? Like, it's just not appropriate to have all kinds of crazy eyeshadow on. So this is a really nice palette. It feels great in the hand. Pure times Barbie. Endless Possibilities 2. Signature 15-piece eyeshadow palette. Look how cute. So pink. It's magnetic closure, so it's not going to stay open if you don't want it to. Comes with a mirror. Look at this beautiful shaping to the palette itself. It doesn't really evoke Barbie, except by the bright pink of the exterior. Just took the little condom off of the mirror. Spectacular. Grabbing our brushes. I just watched a John McClane, Lord McClane tutorial on YouTube this morning. And, I just, for whatever, again, problems that he as an individual or she as an individual have had with some of, I guess, their commentary or etc., I just really still do enjoy their makeup. So going into this palette, you know what it is. We tend to go light to dark. So transition color, we're going into this tiny little triangle here. We're going to take that across the lid with this fluffy brush, right? Looking into our mirror so that you can see me, right? I have on my mirror light, I have on a ring light, and we've got daylight. Look at that. We're getting our makeup started. Now, I heard someone saying it's better for a hooded eye if you take your transition color and go in one direction, from the outer corner toward the inner corner, right? No windshield wiper, but just outer corner to inner corner. Mono-directional, right? Taking it from the outer corner of the eye under the tip of the brow all the way in toward the nose bridge and where we built that nose contour, right? All of these things should marry together and touch each other. Other side, same shade. Outer part of the eyelid across all the way over to the nose bridge, right? We're building this color over our concealer that went over our contour, right? That lifted eye shape is under there. We're not going to be shy about product. We're going to build all the color we need and see what's what, even if it gives us, you know, texture on texture, because we wanted to do this before we get out into the world to do our errands. And just running that underneath the eye. We can also pinch this brush to make sure that under eye line is fine. Other side, fine. Line under there. Now, are these colors too pale for us? We're going to find out, but we're working from the palest over to the darkest. So this, I guess this is a very precise brush, right? It's not quite a pencil, but it's a kind of tapered paddle brush, right? We have another brush for blending. We have another brush for lining the eye. So if we take this and we think about our outer V, right? If we went with the palest kind of beige shade and it's Barbie, we could go for this kind of like fuchsia pink color right here. Why not? Barbie would be proud. So we want to be very precise in looking at our lid and stamping it on the bottom of the lid and then looking down into our mirror, right? And respecting the very line of that lid, not taking this color too high, because that architecture is what's going to give you drama when you open and close your eye, otherwise known as blink, right? You don't want your shadow to be muddy and everywhere. You want it to have a very precise application, right? And if you open your eye, maybe you can go a kiss higher since it is a hooded lid. Can you see the color from the front, right? And that's the logic of taking your crease color from the crease just above the crease, because when we open our hooded eye, we can't necessarily see what's in the crease, right? Take it just along that outer V and look straight ahead to see if it's visible, right? We have to adjust because we have what? A hooded eye shape. I think that color looks dusky and pretty. Other side. So same thing, right? Looking into our mirror, leaning close so you can see me, patting that along the lash line. It's a very flattering on me kind of hot pink, but in the pan it looks fuchsia, but because my skin has pigment in it, it doesn't read as fuchsia, it reads as hot pink. And that is over very pale yellow concealer, and of course under there is a very significant contour that we did with our Black Radiance foundation product. So we're losing some of the precision that we had on the other side, but hope is not lost. You know, we'll be able to blend that out and hopefully make a shape that matches. But again, with hooded eyes, all this stuff about windshield wiper and tiny circles, that's more of a blending move, because you don't have all the lid space in the world, and you don't want to lose the lifted shape, and you don't want to lose the precision. But I'm not mad about this color story at all. So from here, you know what we want to do. We want to take a paddle brush and we want to stamp something exciting in the inner corner, going out toward the outer 2/3. Do we want to go for the quotidian pink, or do we want to go for one of these more exotic? This is like a silvery gray, and then this one is even more of a gray. What do you think? I think maybe let's go for this silvery gray. Again, working from the palest, and then the next round will go a slightly darker. For some reason, my live is holding up today. Amazing. The YouTube gods are on our side. So from the inner corner, right, building and arcing along the same line that our fuchsia shade has taken, right, and wanting to stamp maybe not quite all the way over into the middle, but this is going to become, the center zone is going to become where our blend happens, right? But we're bringing light into the inner corner of the eye, right? We're not doing a cut crease because, you know, I don't think we have to. Other side, building that same shape with that very pretty shimmer color, right? Making it into an arc shape, getting it onto our brush, stamping it onto the inner third to half, depending on your taste. When I've done this and I take it over too far, it really overwhelms the matte part of the shadow. I want the light, but I want a subtlety and a blend to happen. This very smooth brush is not the grippiest in the world, but we gonna make it work because that's what we do, right? Whether you are of Afro-American heritage, indigenous heritage, or both like myself, we have, you know, a family legacy of making it work. You know, things might not be ideal, right? And just taking this smaller sized, it's kind of a tapered blending brush, and looking into our mirror, right? Looking around, looking at these edges, and wanting to blend and extend these edges up toward the corner of the brow. And getting very excited about the idea of getting out in the streets. So that I could, you know, holding your brush from the end, being very gentle and tender with your delicate eye skin, and then stroking that same color toward the glitter and shimmer, right? Not wanting to take it away, but just wanting it to be more of a seamless gradient. I like it. Other side. Seamless gradient. Using that brush, gentle pressure, just working the edges of it out toward the tip of that brow, and then in toward the glitter and shimmer of the inner corner, so that it blends together texturally as well as color-wise. And it is kind of an unexpected combo. It's got this sort of like beige, silvery gray. And we can also use this brush that we used with our pink. Do we need to add another element? Does it need more of anything? Does it need a color in the center that would liven it up, or is this enough? This might be enough. I feel like maybe we need something to line it, and that's what we have our favorite brush for, this BH Cosmetics number 7 stiff as can be brush. We have this exciting teal shimmer. We also have this matte brown. Maybe let's rock with the matte brown and stamp on a liner, right? Stroking that into the product, picking it up, looking at our eye straight on. We want a slight lift, but we have to look at where the hood of our eye is, right? And not violate the hood. Taking it from the corner of the eye, stamping it on. Wow! Other side. Make sure we've got enough. Look at our hood, corner of the eye, stamp. Wow! So from here, We can stroke toward the lid. You know, we can also take the tip of the brush and extend that wing. Other side. Extend that wing. Stroke in toward the lash line. And then just stamp along that lash line, giving us a depth and a definition, right? And you know, this style of liner tends to make my hooded eyes look very exotic, right? And there is a new trend in 2022 makeup, which is to not do all of the extended wing, but to really think about just getting more of that shadow on the top edge of this brush to stamp a little inner corner flick, right? Same on the other side. Inner corner flick. Drag that toward the lower lash line, right? Maybe stamp a little underneath the eye. Nothing too crazy. Other side. You know, but once you get your eyeshadow looking right, and any fallout from that shadow just looking right, right? I never look at my eyes and think, oh, I really need eyeshadow and eyeliner and lashes. I always think, wow, that's exciting. Let's get some foundation on and make the rest of our face kind of obliterate all that streakiness. But I do really like this palette. It has a very nice feel. It snaps shut in a satisfying way. The shadows don't shatter. You know, I'm gonna make sure I have that favorite product of mine here next time we do makeup. But I think that this is a super pretty eyeshadow look, and our eyeshadow liner is looking bomb. Let's get into a foundation powder and some kind of brush to get that on with. What shall it be? You know, this is, I guess, more of a bronzing brush than a foundation one. Here's one that's like a stipple brush. Maybe we can rock with this because we want to get this. This is the light warm powder foundation from e.l.f. and we just want to do enough of it to kind of take out some of the harshness of this contour and, you know, the lines that we want there. We definitely want the contour and all of that, but we don't want it to look in any way harsh and unrealistic. Even the people at Target should not be able to clock the fact that we've been messing around with our face. We want them to think this is our real face. So this is a Morphe M442 brush. I'm not sure if it's a foundation brush or what it's for, but I like the fact that it's got these light, kind of thinner bristles at the tip and more thicker ones at the bottom, that we can look at the places where our contour and highlight come together and start using this color to kind of get between those shades and create seamlessness, right? That's what some of the gurus on TikTok and YouTube talk about, seamlessness. You want everything to kind of look like it belongs together, and I think that's already improving the look. So we have light layers that, you know, respect our skin's need for moisture and the cohesion between our contour and highlighting. I apologize because my neighbors are outside. I don't even think it's a party. I think they're just hanging out. Sunday vibes. They're just hanging out and talking, you know, bringing it right up to the eye, knocking out any creasing or fallout, getting it between the brows, kind of coating our contour that's in our brows with a little bit of powder so that bringing it up toward the hairline so that things don't look as two different colors, but that we're kind of marrying them into contoured, highlight, cohesive shading that will be, and you can still see the nose highlight and the nose contour, and you can still see that cheek contour, right? You still see the neck and the jaw contour, right? If I turn this light off, maybe that's not bright enough, but do you see what I'm saying? Like enhanced, dragging the powder onto the ear, down onto the neck, trying to create kind of a natural look, right? We've done some magical stuff with our eyeshadow in this wing at the edge, flick at the inner corner place, right? We're looking exotic, we're looking eyeshadowed, putting this brush back and this powder back, right? Do we want to take a moment and increase or enhance the look of our contour? If we use one of our eyeshadow brushes and this handy dandy brush cleaning panel, box, whatever you want to call it, from Daiso, to clean this off, and then take the shape and size of this brush, look into our mirror, right? We have a lighter color and a darker color. Do we want to play with the lighter one first and see what that does? And if it disappoints, we'll go for the darker one. So, looking into our face, getting that lighter color onto the brush, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, top of ear, middle of ear. It's almost like you want it to have one convergence point, but have the two colors, or have the two kind of directions conjoin at one point. So from the top of your ear and the middle of your ear, right? Top of ear, middle of ear, top of ear, middle of ear. If that's your contour place with this very pale, shadowy color, right? Top of ear, middle of ear. So it's not just a straight line, right? And also pinching it and taking it along the nose contour. On the nose, on the nose, under the nose. Structure. Nothing to obliterate the face, not trying to obliterate the contour or the highlight, you know. When I know I've succeeded, right, I practice my things with my contour and my highlighting, trying to be subtle, trying to be blended. But when I know I've gotten away with it, when I go to work and they let me rock it and then I'm featured on camera and no one says a word, that's when I know I did it, right? Like that to me is kind of where I go with my work, my makeup work, right? That to me is how I succeed. So using the same brush, if we've used this brush and that shade of contour, right, to contour underneath, right, in the shadow places, right, on the nose, then we get into this bronzer, right? A lot of people do their contouring with their bronzer, but it's a bit warm. So if we can look at where we created contour and maybe just go lightly along the top edge of that, right? Knowing that we're building a gradient, right? On the jaw, right? Building a gradient, and that blush is going to go on top, right? This is the Physicians Formula Butter bronzer that smells so yummy, right? Do you also want to think about your forehead contour and any kind of like hairline enhancing powder, right? That maybe the very tip and edge of your forehead is something that matches your hair color and then kind of creates a gradient coming out toward the forehead, right? Maybe a little bit on this brush to run it along that nose contour, right? We don't want to look like Little Kim in the 90s. Do we want to put a little bit of it into that eyeshadow crease, right? To make that brow bone pop, right? Some people just use bronzer as their eyeshadow color. Can we stroke this over that shimmer in a way that makes it more subtle? I'm not unhappy with that, right? As I look in the mirror, I see a very clear demarcation of nose, contour, and highlight. I see a strong cheek and a strong jaw contour, right? And I see a very subtle and well done forehead contour. We're getting better. And that's very enchanting. I mean, you know, we weren't the worst, but we were not the best. And from here we can add, you know, I think we can go for a powder blush. Do we want to use a Creme Shop blush in the pink family? This is the Queen Cheekmate palette. We have this brush, which is built for the cheek, either contour or blush, making sure there's nothing on it with our brush cleaning tool. What is it called? Dry cleaner, makeup brush dry cleaner from Daiso. And you know, there's a very sweet pink color in here, right there. And there's a middle shade. Which one should we go for? Maybe we should try the sweet pink one first. See what that does for us, right? Looking into our mirror, if our contour is here and our bronzer is there, then the new thinking is to take at an angle that blush up toward the eye area, right? And so you're putting it over all of those colors to create a gradient effect. Other side, right? Adding that blush, which is not a luminous blush, it's quite a matte one. Leaving the shimmer to the inner corner of the eye, maybe taking some of that blush more saturated, right? To make sure the color is coming through. I think that looks very pretty, right? And that's not a liquid liner, that is just eyeshadow. Eyeshadow applied strongly and strategically with the right tools, the right brush, not the most expensive brush, but the right brush, and it makes a huge difference, right? And from here, if we go in with a lip liner of some sort, right? If we respect what we've been able to do with our contour, highlight, powder foundation, look how pretty, right? Even if we just went in with this shimmery Nivea lip care balm, right? There's nothing wrong with the natural color of our lips. We don't have to wear all the makeup. We don't have to be overwhelming with it, but we can just stroke this over our lips and it gives a luminosity. It gives a made up look. It's not super dark. It's brunch appropriate. It's appropriate for church, where you can look made up and pretty in tones of pink and not go too far, but be just right for whether you're a hospital patient or you're an innocent person at the church repenting for your sins, right? But to be blushed, eyeshadowed, eyelined, and pretty, no mascara, nothing in the brows. You know, we were interested in experimenting with brow products. That's the Marc Jacobs, but you know, thinking about this Brow Contour Pro, which has many different colors of brow shades in it, right? From the very pale to the very dark. But if we take this, I get it, it's a deeper shade, a lighter shade, a highlighter, and a definer. But if we take this lighter shade and dot this on carefully onto the nose. I don't even think this is going to read on our skin. No, it won't. I think something liquid is better for creating freckles. But I like the idea of freckles, and different size freckles at that, right? This doesn't look the best, but you know what I'm trying to go for. So in as much as I'm trying this, and the color might be right, I think that other color, which was more reddish brown, looked more freckle-like. So, you know, we'll keep working on this freckle thing, but you know, I feel like we're getting into a, if not expert, but then a really good place with our hooded eye eyeshadow, right? We placed it, we corrected it, we emphasized that outer V, we put shimmer and lightness in the inner corner. The eyes look interesting, they look lifted, they are contoured, that nose is contoured, the cheek is contoured, the jaw is contoured. Now, we need to stop eating so many treats. But, you know, we can always give ourselves leeway and grace to, you know, make choices with our makeup that we like, and to, you know, make mistakes. These might not be the right color freckles, but we'll certainly get better. And to find, you know, makeup palettes that we like, and to find, you know, electric toothbrushes that help us do the better job of cleaning our teeth. Not that regular toothbrush is bad, but you know, I think it can be helpful to change the technology and change the tooth cleaning routine. We've been talking for nearly an hour about our makeup. You know, just switching gears a little bit, you know, like it's certainly been a long haul on one of the shows that I work on, and you know, it's been challenging. I mean, I don't know how you feel about certain kinds of behaviors at work. You know, are you someone who does your job well as a way to have, you know, longevity at your job, or are you someone who believes in, you know, personal and sexual liaisons with folks as a way to stay employed? You know, there's certainly different people who have different ideas at my job. And, you know, either way of doing your work can create its own sense of entitlement. This is the NYX eye pencil in cottage cheese. I find that this one is more luminous than the other color, which is milk. So, you know, people on TikTok are talking about using this to create a very strong highlight on the center of the bridge of the nose, right? Look at that. And then on the tip of the nose, like that. And you can certainly take your finger and kind of tone it down. But I do think that's very effective, right? We turn off this light. Maybe that's not enough light. If we turn down this light, put a little bit more there. You know, but see, people who don't know our little tricks, their eyes will be fooled into thinking that my nose has more structure than it does. You know, there's a school of thought that says, you know, take your, just whatever's left on the brush, the contour brush, and make lines over your nose. I saw this and I was like, what is that gonna do? Is that gonna fool someone into thinking my nose ends where it doesn't? Right? Look at that. Press that in. Certainly my nostrils are where they are. Did that do something? I think it might have. So creating some structure that wasn't there before through contour, right? Not just the center, but maybe trying to shift toward the center the perception of the overall nose shape. Is that what that accomplishes? And then putting more highlight over the nostrils themselves. I don't hate my nose, I don't hate any part of my face, but again, these are the little tricks that we experiment with in the world of makeup. I encourage you to, you know, review your collection of makeup, organize it, think about different things that you want to try in terms of shadow, in terms of contour and highlight, in terms of, you know, how dark your contour can go, how light it can be to be effective. Because at the end of the day, you just want to be intentional and have what you do actually work, right? It does help to have an exciting shirt on. It does help to, you know, have a lighting scheme that flatters. And it does help to have a phone that actually has storage space on it so that you can record in a way that will, you know, help you. So looking at these freckles closer up, it doesn't look too terrible, but I think that we can do better. I do. I think we can do better, but I don't hate this. I think it came out quite pretty. I'm looking to do, you know, more experiments with this Pure times Barbie shadow palette. I do wonder if this is volume 2. What was volume 1? This is Endless Possibilities 2. So what was Endless Possibilities 1? I'll keep my eye out for that. But, you know, we're not completely done with that palette. You know, I think it's like a video game. It has a lot of playability left in it. It had that exciting teal color. But, you know, I feel like we're getting into a place where we can reliably judge what kinds of tones and color combinations will work for our face. You know, and thankfully we still have enough daylight to go out and do some errands. We are kind of backlit, so that creates a certain kind of dimension on the face. What do you think? Should I get a new phone with less storage on the phone and more in the cloud? Should I get a new phone with 4 cameras, not just 3? You know, is having an iPhone compatible with my computers a good thing if storage is a problem? You know, we're just getting into a place of like monetizing our channel, so we want to be able to move forward aggressively. In a way, we kind of know the Apple product, but are we just being kind of blindly loyal to Apple versus Motorola? Is the Motorola just fine and no one knows about it? Or will I be hobbling my production process? Because it's been really helpful just to be able to shoot on my phone, edit and, you know, whatever, iMovie and post. And I ran out of storage. I didn't want to pay for more. I really was like practicing. But if we're out of the practice place and we're into the we're doing this seriously place, is it worth investing in the new iPhone 13 Pro Max? A lot of people at work have it and they don't make anything. I feel like I've dragged my feet on getting the new iPhone to favor more, you know, developing production value, layers. You know, I still am not doing my hair, but you get what I'm saying, like a nice shirt, an organized makeup space, you know, some you know, thought about color choices, and just sort of bringing you news and information and tutorial about products that I've quite liked. I've kind of gone there instead of just buying gadgets and, you know, the latest and the newest, and not necessarily putting the same amount of energy into making good content for you and good information. Whereas I feel like we're in a good place with our makeup and information, so maybe now we can switch gears and get a better phone. Jitters, what do you think? I'm interested to know your experience with the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Is that how it is titled? Versus a Motorola or another phone that might be just as powerful, cheaper plan, and work just as well. Am I crazy? Can you just have any apps on any phone, or is there something about the compatibility of having an Apple phone with getting your apps from the App Store as opposed to what people do on the, I guess it's Windows compatible phones. I want to investigate it, but in a way, I just want to move forward and make content. What do you think? You know, I can't make a short on my phone right now. I can make a live, but I can't make a short. And this is hobbling me and my message. So I'd love to have your input. Thank you for watching. You know, this is the decor situation right now, and we're gonna tidy up a bit and get out into these streets before we have to be at work tomorrow. Being a sick patient. Oh my God. Acting. I do's it. Camera ready. Signing out. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.